What up? Let's look at something quick. Real quick before this thing gets too warm. We noticed there is a fair amount of vacuum here. Not a ton now that we switched out the PCV valve, but definitely has a lot of vacuum. And we thought, well, maybe that's what happened and why the turbo got starved of oil. It was a high vacuum situation. So put a PCV valve on it, but we're gonna go one step further on this, and we are going to bypass the PCV and we are going to do a catch can. It's an oil catch can kit. Everybody said just grab one off eBay. I don't know, 30 bucks. Catch can, breather filter, which I believe goes up here, Teflon tape, and a whole bunch of fittings. And oil line to feed any excess oil that might come through that to go into the catch can. Yeah, because pretty much how that works is PCV will feed, you can see it right here, comes up out of the motor and then feeds, see the elbow goes right up back in there. It feeds that extra air back into the intake so it can be burned back off. Dang flies, they're gonna wake up soon. Anyway, what we're hoping to do with this is get rid of a little bit of the extra vacuum that this has. So I'm thinking that in a high boost application for an extended period of time, what's going to happen is it's going to not pull so much vacuum and potentially starve the turbo. So I think that's what happened with the old one. And again, shout out to Chip at Big R Motorsports for taking care of that turbo issue. He's got it all fixed up and it's coming back. And so we'll be swapping that back out. And then the Garrett, we are going to work on getting the wastegate adjusted because I believe that the wastegate is still sticking and it's coming open a little bit. So I don't think this thing is I don't think this thing's making full boost like it should be. So the other one was Chips was making 20 pounds. This thing will only go up to 15. So I think that the wastegate needs to be adjusted. It's laying off. So who knows, maybe that'll really wake up this turbo too. But for now, we're gonna work on the catch can and we'll be back. Okay. Catch can. I had to install a catch can because I was getting excessive amount of vacuum and I don't know exactly why. Put a new PCV valve in. It got a little bit better, but the issue was you could start the car and you'll see this video and it would have a lot of suction on the oil cap still. So we want to alleviate that and do a catch can bypass. So what that is, it's a breather system that lets eliminate the PCV because we really don't need it. And there's just not a lot of room in here. There's just so much stuff. But there is a lot of room up there. So we were able to install the catch can right on this modified hood latch catch. And you can see the lines running out there. And the lines run to, one runs up along here and to the valve cover breather that used to run down here to the turbo intake. And then the other one is where the PCV valve was, which was down in here off the crankcase breather. So we've bypassed the PCV valve, and that breathes right up on that line and goes into the catch can. And a catch can also, I guess I can explain this a little bit better, but right here, the PCV was right on this line, and it would go from the crankcase ventilation tube through a PCV valve, which is spring loaded, positive crankcase ventilation, and then it would go let the gases right back into the throttle body here, and then it would go into the engine. The reason that's not ideal is because when you have a lot of oil pressure, and like this is a high boost application, it's going to send oil up into that, and then you could be getting oil in your plenum, which is not ideal to be burning that again. So we bypass that, and now it's going to run over here into the catch can, which then is on a breather. So nice part about that is it just go in there, and then there's a cartridge down here that we can just unscrew, and then we can just empty it out if there's any excessive oil in there. I can't imagine that it's really going to have much in there, but it might. You know, after a little while. Both of these lines weren't really too oily, but you could see back here on the valve cover breather, there was quite a bit of pressure, and there's some oil buildup there. So we got that cleaned off, and we've got this all installed, and everything's plugged off. So the next move here, I believe, is going to be, let's fire it up and let's see how much that helped. First things first, since I'm going to let it idle in neutral and my driveway's got a bit of a hill, I'm going to put a little wood block there behind the tire. What happens. All right. So before, we could spin this off, and it would have a lot of suction on this lid. Now there's like none. So that means the system's breathing really well and doing what it should. That in turn should allow this thing to create a lot less unnecessary vacuum. Ooh, the flies are bad. But it'll create a lot less unnecessary vacuum. And I think also that will help alleviate a potential of a lack of oiling to get to that turbo in a high boost situation. So that was a recommendation from Chip to go ahead and do a catch can and bypass that PCV system. So we've done that. Everything looks good here. From what I can tell, I don't see any issues. I need to better route that, that's for sure. But true test is take it out for a drive. And we're gonna see how it does, if it's funny or not. So we'll be back. Good news. Back from a test drive. Didn't see any different. So that's a good sign. Might have to redo our mount here, but not the end of the world, that's for sure. For a temporary install to make sure that we were helping the system, it worked. So, what did we learn? Car was making a lot of vacuum. We think potentially that when it was under a high boost situation for an extended period of time, possibly a really heavy first through fourth pull, that all the vacuum possibly starved the turbo oil feed line and didn't quite get enough oil to the turbo and smoked it. So we think that might have been the reason. So did the catch can, got a lot of that excess vacuum taken care of, and bypassed the PCV valve. So we're good there. It's pretty easy. The hardest thing here was for me to find just a spot to mount the catch can, because there's so much stuff in the engine bay of these cars and a lot of room up under here. So I utilize that. It's not in the way of anything. It doesn't block anything. So that's good. I mean, I'm definitely gonna redo this. But for now, it'll definitely work. So, hey, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your foes, tell everybody. We're at like 195 subscribers. Goal is 200 subscribers by the end of August, so only 5 to go. If you like my videos, if you have questions, drop a comment. Let me know your questions. Let me know maybe things that you see I could be doing better. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.